translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings, and His transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such matters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satiated by hearing topics about Him? Purport. Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are two chiefs of the demigods. They are full of mystic powers. For example, Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison, of which one drop was sufficient to kill an ordinary living being. Similarly, Brahma could create many powerful demigods, including Lord Shiva. So they are Ishvaras, or lords of the universe. But they are not the supreme powerful. The supreme powerful is Govinda, Lord Krishna. He is the transcendence, and His transcendental attributes cannot be measured even by such powerful Ishvaras as Shiva and Brahma. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the exclusive shelter of the greatest of all living beings. Brahma is counted amongst the living beings, but is the greatest of all of us. And why is the greatest of all the living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because He is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Everyone wants to relish some kind of taste in everything, but one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure for such engagement. The Lord is unlimited, and His name, attributes, pastimes, entourage, variegatedness, etc. are unlimited, and those who relish them, they can do so unlimitedly and still not feel satiated. This fact is confirmed in the Padma Puran. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chit atmani iti rama pade nasho param brahma vidiyate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth, and therefore the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Rama. There is no end to such transcendental discourses. In mundane affairs, there is the law of cessation, but in transcendence, there is not such cessation. Sutta Goswami desired to continue the topics of Lord Krishna before the sage of Naimisharanya, and the sage also expressed their readiness to hear from him continuously. Since the Lord in His transcendence and His attributes are transcendental, such discourses increase the receptive mood of the purified audience. Om Agyantimirandasya Ganangara Shalakaya Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasme Shigurave Namah. Ansha Karpata Ubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Svaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pachayine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatya Dishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So For a reason that I don't know, I have a lot of stress, and I think it's because the more I stay here, the more I see many qualities in of all of the Vaishnavas, and I feel really not qualified to give here a speech in front of you. So I request your compassion and your blessing in order that I try to be focused on Krishna's lotus feet, and I try to glorify the devotees and the Lord, and you can be enlightened. In this context, in the 18th chapter, Sutta Goswami is praising the Lord and the glories of Parikshit Maharaj, and finally, because the sage of Naimirishanya, they hear the glories of the Lord, the glories of the devotees of the Lord, they feel that they want to hear more and more. This is like an ocean that you can never dry. And in this way, we can see that the verse just after was Tulayama Lavenapi Nasvargamna Punarbhava Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Maltanyam Kim Utashisha. That means that no matter what we can find in this world, great wealth, great name, pleasure, there is not such thing who can be compared to the pleasure found in the association of the devotees. Not only because they give us the highest realization, not only because they wear the Lord in their heart, but because Himself they are merged into such such transcendental bliss that immediately we feel that we need to follow their footsteps. The sage of Naimirishanya in this connection, they were performing yagya during 1,000 years. Sutta Goswami has been put by Balaram at their head after replacing him by Loma Achan. The sages are doing that sacrifice because soon the Kali Yuga will take over, and the Brahmana, they need to function with cooperation. The Brahmana are the foremost of the living entities in this universe because they are rearing the religious principles through Vedic scriptures, through their knowledge. So the Brahmana gather, and together they protect the citizens. Soon the king will disappear because Kali Yuga time is affecting and destroy everything. And as soon as the king is not there, basically there is no protection anymore. What does that mean? That means the Brahmana will not be able to perform with tranquility their yagya, to please the Lord, to facilitate virtue inside the society, to facilitate abundance on the planet. As soon as the king is not there, this is all the other duty cannot be performed. But when there is no king, when there is no duty anymore, when there is chaos, still the Brahmana, still the devotee of the Lord, by His mercy, He can reconstruct everything. In the Satya Yuga, there were not such things as Varnashram Dharma and 4 orders. Devotees, they were called Amsa. They were immaculate. And for them, they were naturally endowed with Brahmanical qualities. But with the time, again, destruction, demons comes because they are led by the 3 modes of material nature, and they are led by their sense gratification, by passion and ignorance. And with the time, Brahmana has to protect themselves. But it becomes so difficult that they have to elect a king. And the king finally will protect the brahmanas. It's like that. Here the verse just after says that, yes, the devotees, they are not only wearing the Lord, but they are protecting the whole universe. Because if there is a devotee, a king can be erected. If there is a devotee, virtue can be disseminated inside the society, and world can go on. Here we are talking about the glories of the Lord and the glories of the devotees of the Lord. Amongst them, Lord Shiva is considered the foremost, and Lord Brahma is considered the foremost of all living entities also, because he is considered the creator who is facilitating the desires, perverted desires of the living entities for the pleasure of the Lord. This is a great task. Both of them are taking on their shoulder the great task to put under illusion, to facilitate the illusion of the living entities. But they are still pure devotees. Our Brahma in our universe is a pure devotee. Shiva is also a pure devotee. But still they accept to put under illusion, to work in that way. Like this, the propensity of free will still be exerted by the living entities. Here in this verse, we see that the Lord is called Parayanasya, the one whose living entities taking shelter. Yes, he's called also Mahatma, the greatest amongst the living beings, is Govinda. And Prabhupada in the purport will refers to these inconceivable potencies of the Lord. And he will talk about the pastime of Shiva, who is drinking the ocean of milk, which turned into an ocean of poison at that time. And it's an interesting pastime, because in this pastime, basically, demigods and demons are fighting together. And demigods goes to see Vishnu, and they ask what we can do. And Vishnu is saying, at this time you are not able to win over the demons. So you have to find some way to make peace with them. So let's churn an ocean of milk, get some nectar, and I will find a way in this to put the demigods into their proper condition. Bali at that time was the head of the demons. Bali is a great devotee of the Lord because he has received a benediction from Shiva, not from Shiva, from Nrsimhadev, that his descendants, Prahlad Maharaj received a benediction from Nrsimhadev that his descendants will be always devotees. And Bali is the descendant. He's the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. But he's a great devotee, but still he has to fulfill his duties. And in this way, the demons and the demigods, they will churn the ocean of nectar around the mountain, Mandara. But what happens is the mountain has been put there, but milk cannot really maintain it, so it will sink. Tortoise, Kurmadev, will come, and on his back he will wear that mountain. but still difficult to churn. Vasuki will be brought as a rope. They try to churn, not enough. So the Lord is expanding himself, not only this time as a tortoise, but as someone who will replace. There was asuras and demigods to churn. Not only he will do that, but he will expand again in someone to maintain the top of the Mount Mandara, to maintain it. So he's there, behind, on the top, and churning. He's doing everything by himself, basically. But what happens is, in this ocean of milk, there is fish. There is big kind of whales. And those, because of the agitation, are getting crushed. And their blood are mixing with the ocean of milk. And it creates poison. The asuras and the demigods, they see that. And they go toward Lord Vishnu. And they say to him, what happens? We cannot do anything about that. And this tentative of peace with the asuras, we will not be able to do it if there is no nectar to trade between us. So they will fight against us and we will lose again our position. You have to do something, Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu says, go to see Lord Shiva. The demigods go, and the asuras, they go to see Lord Shiva. And they ask, can you take the poison out? Can you do something? Shiva, as it says in this verse, in the purport by Prabhupada, is taking the whole ocean of poison in his hand. He's extracting the poison. And he's drinking that. He has a blue line from now on his neck. And Parvati was happy, and everybody was happy. The devotees glorify him as the Supreme Lord, as the Supreme Soul. The devotees glorify him that he's the origin of everything, the living entities, the universe. Why is that so? Because it is qualified in the Srimad Bhagavatam that before the first prayer is refers as Sada Shiva. And Sada Shiva is special. He's not Shiva, he's higher. He's a manifestation of Mahavishnu. So in this way, like Advaita came as Mahavishnu and Sada Shiva, we can conceive that there is not so much difference between both. So the prayers of the demigods can be accepted. Sadashiva can be considered in a way the Supreme Lord, like Mahavishnu can be considered in a way the Supreme Lord. But still, such pastime is inconceivable. If Lord Vishnu is so powerful, why does he ask to Shiva or Sadashiva to help him? And why is the demigods are praising Lord Shiva like the supreme absolute truth in front of the Lord himself? Because Shiva is just an expansion. So everything should be happening by the will of Mahavishnu first. But the glories of the Lord is that he wants to enhance his glories, putting forward his devotees first. Krishna is like that. He does not like to enjoy his opulences alone. Nam atmanam mashase mad bhakter sadubirvina bhagavat sangi sangyasya yesham gatir ampara. I does not want to enjoy me, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Govinda, without the devotees. There is no purpose for that. Because where I'm taking pleasure is where I can satisfy the desire of the devotees. Because they are so dear to me. The devotees are so dear to me because they take shelter of me. Because they surrender everything to me. And I feel indebted to them. I feel indebted to them on the point that I can give them all opulences, like Brahma. I can empower them. They can rule the universe for me. So in this way, there is so many expansion, so many considerations, so many power that has been given by the Lord in varied ways, that it's difficult for us to ascertain what is true, what is not, what is the beginning, what is the end. So in this way, it becomes inconceivable. The glories of the Lord is to put forward his devotees. And why is the association of the devotees are so desirable? It's because they do so also. They put forward the Lord in their life. So, in the association of devotees, there will be always our dormant love for Krishna awakened. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya, bhava sasadana bida, nitya siddhasya bhavatya, prakatyam ridi sadhyate. Through sadhana bhakti, through engaging on our senses for the pleasure of the Supreme, we can see that our dormant state of love for Krishna is awakened. It is not that we have to create that. It's just already there. But sadhana means I have to get instruction from the devotees. And this sadhana means to get taste at some point. Tavad karmani kurvita nadivedyata yavata. That means that as long as I have no taste for performing service, especially Shravanam Kirtanam, as long as I have a distaste for the material world, I cannot really spontaneously have affection for the Lord. Those two has to be there. Shri Radha Gokulananda, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Shri Gauranitai ki. But at some point, there will be raga, there will be spontaneous affection. And this spontaneous affection is tat bhavadi madhurye, is becoming from the citizens of Vrindavan originally. And Shrutedir yadapekshate, as soon as my intelligence, when I hear the pastime of the devotees of Vrindavan, Natra Shastram Nayuktim Cha, and my intelligence does not depend upon reason, logic, even Shastras. What will happen? I will begin to follow the footsteps of the citizen of Vrindavan. I will begin to follow my spiritual master. And I will take not only example of them, but I want to serve them eternally, life after life. And there is two types of hearing. There is proper hearing, of course, and the one who is improper. What kind of proper hearing is it? It says that there is krama shuddha and krama hina. Krama hina means basically I hear, but I do not want to participate to those lila. I don't want to take place in those adventures. When I hear the sage of Nimirnishanya, when I hear the pastime that is narrated by Sutta Goswami. I don't not want to be there. I don't want to be one of the citizens of Vrindavan when I hear that Mother Yashoda is there taking care of her children and she's running after. And the Lord is accepting to be catched by her love. And when she sometimes opens the mouth of her children, she sees the whole universe. Illusion is there. What kind of love is that? Do I really want to be there? Do I really want to assist such a person? Do I really want to see Krishna running like that, afraid, crying? If I do not want to participate to one of the lila of Krishna, that means there is not proper hearing. As soon as I want to be part of those, this becomes krama shuddha. That means hearing pastimes of the Lord will deliver the proper fruits at that time only. Before it will basically clear your sins. But when you want to become citizens of Vrindavan, after you perform Vedi Bhakti, after you get taste, after you are surrendered to the instruction of your Guru, that you can do, that you can follow the footsteps, that you can try to follow and to be inspired by someone of Vrindavan. But you have to desire that somehow. This has to be there. Shravanam is in 5 steps. Shravanam, Varanam, acceptance. This means implicit faith in what I am hearing. After that, Smaranam, faith is awakening in me the remembrance, constant remembrance. And after that, it becomes bhavapana. Emotion have to be there with the remembrance. And after that, it becomes prem, when it's mature, fully mature. So, what is the most inconceivable potencies of the Lord? Of course, to win the world and the heart of everyone, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to find the best opulences that he has in himself. That means in Krishna. What is the best weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It is Rasika Chikar, beauty itself, personified. Whenever there is impersonalist, whenever there is atheist, seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are automatically attracted by his features, by his effusions, by his way to behave. They may not appreciate him, but the attraction is there automatically. In this world, it is happening also like that. But what is happening? Only beauty is not enough to win the heart of people. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is taking the example of the moon. The moon is wonderful. His rays in the darkness are schooling everyone, and it seems that there is only her. But a mother, if she has to decide between an ugly child and a beautiful moon, what she will choose? She will choose the ugly child. So beauty is not enough. Love, affection, relation is above beauty. Beauty is therefore attracting everyone automatically. But like a beautiful woman, is there only enough after a certain time to be happy with her? Really? No. No, something more has to be there. Something in the heart has to be there. And in that way, it can go further. So, the Acharyas, they describe pure love, like Sarvata Dvamsha Raitam, Sati Hapi Dvamsha Karane. Bhava bandhanam saprema parikirtita. What does that mean? That means if I have to consider a relationship, conjugal relationship, as pure, there should be all reason to break it. But I do not so. I do not do so. Why Krishna is arranging that between the citizens of Vrindavan, there is all reasons to break this relationship. It's because like this I can prove my love. Like this, love will become pure at such a state that devotees, they will prove that they are surrendered in every way. But in order that it happens, so illusion has to be there. Illusion has to be there. Because if I respect the Lord, if I see Him too much of His opulences, my natural affection for me will be weakening by the feeling of respect, of obeisances. So the citizens of Vrindavan in the spiritual world, they are aware that Krishna is God, but does not care. Traya Shopanishabdishta Sanka Yogam Cha Sadvate. It is said that when the Lord is opening His mouth and Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, is looking inside his mouth, she sees the whole universe, but what happens after that? She still wants to consider the Lord as her child. So, this is the inconceivable potency of illusion. First there is attraction, after the affection is bringing the devotees under illusion. But this illusion is also there in the material world. There is movies, there is even comics, and people, they are so much in love with those fictionary people that they start to fashion their lives like them. They start to quote things from their films. Children are playing Star Wars. The parents are buying video games about Star Wars. And people, they go and dress like superheroes. Even in Japan, there is like things that are called cosplay. And people are dressing like that. But those are come from, non-reality. This world is considered already an illusion. But they take shelter of the illusion of the illusion. How powerful is the illusion? There will be always illusion. So that means the most pregnant potency of the Lord is illusion. First, there is attraction, beauty. After, it becomes overpowered by love. I can love someone who is ugly. He's okay. There is no problem. But this love will put me under illusion in any way or another. Somehow, when there is two persons really enamored, the first days that we met together, the first meeting, the first year when we are wedding, those things, we think that I've done the best choice of my life. All my happiness is not settled in that person, and she will never betray me. But death is there. Death, not only that, but unfortunately, minute particles of the Supreme are always subjected to error. So, they will perform trickery, deceitful activities. And finally, that love will degrade. And the dream that we had is not anymore prevalent, is not anymore what we were expecting. So we had desire, we had dream, and we were thinking that something temporary, something imperfect can fulfill my perfect dream. What an illusion. Devotees are intelligent. They understand that sam sparshaja boga, dukkha yonaya evate. In it, whatever there is temporary, I cannot be fulfilled. So I take shelter of the eternal, supreme, absolute truth, which is understood as Yadvitat Raso Vesa, the perfect representation and origin of all excellent and loving relationship. That's that with Krishna. And it happens that people will not understand this. They will not be able to understand that. Because when they see the devotees, they cannot understand why it's taking so much austerity on his shoulder. Why is now chanting every day? Nama Gane Sadaruchi. Why he has taste for that? It seems that he has been brainwashed. Like in the whole time of ISKCON, there was the programmer, those people who try to take out the conditionment of a sectarian people who wash your brain. But Prabhupada says, I will wash your brain. Don't worry, there is so much garbage inside. Because you are under illusion, but you are not under the good illusion. You are under the illusion that you can satisfy yourself being the supreme, neglecting what he gave to you. The supreme is supremely renunciant. He will give all his opulences to his devotees, and he will not ask nothing for himself. This is his behavior. That's why he likes to be treated as one amongst us. He doesn't want to be considered as the supreme. It is not how he is appearing the most sweet. So he will share. And our duty is to give it back to him with appropriate loving exchange. And he will be satisfied. And love will be there. And taste will be there. Materialist people, they cannot really understand that. They have to do study on us. They have to put us in a laboratory if they want to perceive the truth of the process with their material tools. Otherwise, they need faith. If they want to perceive in us that we are genuinely committed to Krishna because there is transcendental relationship, they need really big studies. And studies, they can be done actually. How many people in a fragment of second, they were forgetting alcohol, drugs, pollution. It was easy for them. So if there is really, truly bhakti constructed as a science, soon there will be so many proof that there is a uncommon power behind the relationship with Krishna. And when we will go on the street, we will say, you see, actually, it has been stated by scientific that this process is working like this and like that. In the history, recent records, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was transformed in a pumpkin because there were so many transformation of the bodies that at some point form were getting off his mouth. But not only that, his head was getting on the trunk, his arm was getting on the trunk, legs, same thing. And he was transformed into a pumpkin 500 years ago. And not one people, but many people saw that. And at some times, he was measuring 3, 4, 5 meters because he was getting without bones. And it has been stated not many times. So this is recent records that Bhakti has many power. Madhvacharya was really liked to show his power in order to trigger faith into people. One time a king came to him and he says, I will only believe to you if you turn that seed in front of me into a tree. Madhvacharya says, yes, I will do it right now. There were many people, all the attendants of the king were there. He took the tree, the seed of the tree, and in his hand began to form a tree. Not only that, our Acharya were full of esotericism, of mystic power. But if we have to look outside of that, we have to see that there is natural and genuine affection. They are ready to give up everything. Their body is changing. They are crying in front of that. There is not such things as the dogs of Pavlov, that it has been tested that a dog, when we ring a bell, during a long time, when we serve him in the same time, boga, we start to have saliva. But if we withdraw the boga and we ring the bell, still the saliva is there. That means we can control the emotion, the symptoms of people. But here there is no control. Here someone who has wealth, someone who has education, someone who has everything is ready to surrender, is ready to change all in him. Instantly, he will change. So, this is a science, a wonderful science. Even if we are under religion, if we study bhakti, there is all the proof that this process is the most effective process to turn someone who is a fool into the best personality. This is my conclusion, and if someone wants, he can ask a question. Any question?
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. My question is related to the beginning of the class, and you start by saying how is such a great wealth and fortune to have the association of Vaishnavas. I mean, through my own experience, I've seen that by association, things like the taste for reading Srimad Bhagavatam, to relish Srimad Bhagavatam, by simple association, it sprouts in one's heart. We can also see, like, to another extreme, the example of the prostitute and Haridas Thakur by hearing. So my question is, like, from a scientific point of view, how, like, that just by the presence of that personality in our surrounding, in our mind, it is somehow creating a very deep transformation within oneself. But sometimes the person doesn't say or directly do anything that will make us change.
Yes.
But something very deep happens.
Yes.
Like quantum or something.
It's explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam that spiritual energy is like electricity. So when there is electricity in there, you may not perceive it, but it will affect your body, like the wave. So someone who has accumulated a lot of sukriti, a lot of devotional activities, the heart will be purified in such an extent that the Lord will reside there. So, as I said, the Lord is attractive. So this energy that you feel is the potency of the Lord manifested because the devotee was able to enthrone the Lord in his heart. I say it's like electricity. That means you can perceive in the air that there is an energy, a vibration. It's described like that by Prabhupada in purport. Like spiritual energy. That's why when I distribute books, it happens, and not only me, I mean many people, most everybody. When you speak to someone in the streets, someone can cry, You don't. We are striving to cry, but he is crying from the first day that he met a devotee. And not even a pure devotee, just a simple bhakta. Just because he received the Bhagavad Gita, a source of hope that he was ever expecting. Because the Lord manifests not only in the heart of the devotees, but through the instruction, like the books, because no difference between Bhagavata books, Bhagavata person. But not only that, it happens that some few people told me, wait a minute, there is something strange about you. Where do you get this energy? I feel something in my heart. Can you explain to me? And I told him, many times I told those people, yes, this is what happens when you are connected to the Lord. If you want to know the process, you just read the books and you take it up.
Because it seems once the association has happened, it is written in Chaitanya Charitamrita, one moment association can change one's life.
Yes.
So the next step in the question, in the understanding is like, once the association happened, once our heart has been charged by that spiritual electricity. So electricity can pass through us, but how does it happen that by that electrical charge, our inner core, our identity, the way we live, the way our behavior, it's transformed? And so how does it stay within us? Because somehow it has a permanent impact as well. How does
it's from soul to soul. The soul is the origin of all elements. So from the consciousness will come all the aggregates of the material world. And the subtle body and the gross body. As soon as I link to the roots, all the leaves will be also nourished. So when this electricity, this spiritual potency that the devotees are rearing, they are connecting from soul to soul, not from body to body. Even if the influence I can perceive to the material platform, the origin is on the spiritual platform. So that means my consciousness will be purified even without my will. At that point, you can, with the association of devotees, become purified against your will. Because the soul is originally pure, so it deals with that. And the pure soul, those want pure association. Those want the association of the Lord. So it does not refer to your subtle body, your conditionment. It refers directly to your inner self. That because of the potency of illusion, you don't really understand or perceive. Because of misuse of our minute independence, we are now unable to perceive what is our good. But the good is salvation of the soul. That spiritual potency is touching that transcendence. Yes.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your class, Prabhu. I had a question. You were talking about how in sadhana bhakti, you just follow the rules and regulations, and then gradually the taste develops. Now, we can be following sadhana bhakti and having no taste. Should we be trying to look for taste? Or is that something that will gradually develop on its own? Should I individually endeavor to search for it? Or is it something that automatically, with my steadiness, will just manifest if it's something that's from within? Just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
There is two questions, actually. Should I look for happiness in my sadhana? And does my sadhana, if it does not bring me happiness, will it bring me to at the end? So, I should look for happiness because this will help me to relish Krishna's presence, but I should relish happiness not for myself, but to serve better others. So I need happiness, Krishna. I need that you help me to feel happy with you. Otherwise, how can I appreciate your association? How can I be freed from my offenses? How can I have taste? How can I get closer to you if I have no happiness? This is Anandamayo Bhyasat. This is my constitutional desire to be happy. So please help me in that way. But I want this happiness to be for you. I don't want to use that happiness for myself. So this is an exchange. But at some point, what happens in this pastime of the ocean of milk after Shiva drank the poison? He says a last verse. And in this chapter he says, the highest yagya that you can do for the Lord is to sacrifice yourself. And sacrifice yourself means I'm ready to sacrifice my happiness. At some point I don't need happiness anymore. But from the beginning you should ask. Because if it helps you to be Krishna conscious, whatever helps you to be Krishna conscious, take it. You have to take it. The second question is the process is working? My answer is continue. And you will see. But sincerity has to be there. And I think you get that.
Thank you for your class, Prabhu. There's one devotee who told me also the same way you've given this class. One point you gave is you're in illusion wherever you go. Either in the material world or the spiritual world, you're in illusion. But you helped me understand that point, because when it was unpalatable for me when he said that, because it's we don't like to be in illusion.
Yes.
Satchidananda means you're in knowledge.
Yes.
You want to have education. You want to know everything. So, but you may help me to understand that there's good illusion and there's bad illusion. But is there a better way of understanding? Because I don't know if it's easy enough for me to understand in that way either.
I'm myself unable to understand how the process of illusion, the potency of illusion is working. But from what I can understand is the illusion who helps you to know yourself and to perfect yourself is the best illusion that you should take. Because there is the illusion in the desert. This will lead you in a place where there is no fruits, no water, no body to help you, that you are alone, you are thirsty, you are dry. There is no beauty around you, just sand. This illusion is the horrible one. This is the bad illusion. This illusion will lead you to somewhere that you never wanted to be. And there is no such happy end. But the good illusion is the happy end. When you understand who really you are, how much your love and your happiness is growing day by day. This is the luxuriant forest of Vrindavan. That illusion is the best one. Because the illusion, the good illusion, is done for your sake. When you lie to someone, it's for his sake. You put him under the illusion. But you put him under the illusion because you want peace for him. In this way, Krishna is lying to you at some degree because it will increase your happiness. That's the best illusion. But it will increase your happiness eternally.
But how can we have Satchitananda when knowledge is full? That's our eternal position, is full
Yes.
knowledge. But still there is illusion.
The knowledge is full, but as I say, love is exerting illusion by itself. Because the feeling that you have is distorting your reality. When you have such a love for someone, your impression will change, your emotion will change the perception of reality. Isn't it? I don't like spicy food, but some people, they like spicy food. Our emotion, perception of the senses is changed by our education, also, by our perception. But Krishna is giving you so much bliss that you don't see anything but Him. So that illusion will happen like that because of love, because the emotion distorting, happiness is distorting.
Thank you. Jai.
A Swami, and he would say, we remember Krishna to forget him again. We fall in love to be betrayed. I just wanted to read a quote in this respect that I read the other day. It is the accuracy of our inspired philosophical reading of life, with eyes of Siddhanta and Paramitika Shraddha, which determinate whether we are tangled in the impossibly sticky web of Mahamaya, or woven into the brilliant tapestry of Yogamaya. So this difference. And then reality is ultimately subjective and defined by how we see it and how we are inspired to participate in it. When you were describing the bad side of illusion, following into the desert, you remind me of the separation of the gopis. They're in that same bad Maya because they are suffering like anything. So, yeah, ultimately, grace of Guru will understand and come under the tapestry, wonderful tapestry of Yogamaya, God willing.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.